Hi, I'm Mark, and this is Let's Vibe, the channel where we talk about our feelings. Every time I say that, every video I've made where I do that introduction, I cannot help but think about how we've all been taught, the way in which we've all been taught about feelings, at least those of us in America, and particularly men, but I know it's men and women. We're all taught that, feelings are for the weak and soft. And, um, in the past 5 years, we heard a lot of F your feelings. And let me tell you, anyone, anyone who tells you F your feelings, just know they are swimming in their own feelings. They don't know that, but they're swimming in it. They're like a fish in water. They don't realize they're swimming in the sea of emotion. They've always been there. That's kind of how we grow up. We don't realize what we're feeling. And how can we when we're taught that feelings are worthless? The truth is, feelings are not for the faint of heart. Your feelings will kick your ass. And don't even pretend. Don't even pretend to approach it like some badass, like you're tough. Girl, you will be thrown down because feelings are powerful. That's why I love it. Um, so, yes, it takes strength, it takes wherewithal, it takes serious guts to approach your own feelings and dive deep and feel what you're feeling. Feeling is not for the faint of heart. The act of feeling. So, with all that being said, the stone, or it's not quite a crystal, I'll just call it a stone. The stone that I want to talk about today is hawk's eye. So, this is my hawk's eye necklace. It's just some hawk's eye beads that I bought at one of the crystal shops in town. And I strung them on this simple thread. And I really just use this necklace for meditation. It's not for wearing around. Now, if you're familiar with stones, you'll probably notice these beads look a lot like tiger's eye, which has, the same gold colors. But what makes this hawk's eye is, if you can see, there are spots of blue on these beads. You might not be able to see it that well. Can you see it? Um, no, but hawk's eye is very much like tiger's eye, except without the dark red, the deep red that tiger's eye has. So there's no deep red. And in place of that, I mean, there is some dark. In place of that is the dark blue. So some of these beads have spots of dark blue, and that's what distinguishes it as hawk's eye. Now, there is some confusion out there. Well, it can be confusing. It was confusing for me when I first was learning about hawk's eye. There is a form of tiger's eye that is blue. It's blue tiger's eye. But it's often called hawk's eye. However, I only refer to it as blue tiger's eye. And I'm talking about like it's totally blue. If you come across a piece, if you come across a stone that's labeled hawk's eye and it's completely blue, like dark blue, I would say that's not really hawk's eye. That's blue tiger's eye. It has a different vibration. That's why I'm distinguishing the two. I don't consider the blue tiger's eye to be really hawk's eye. This is the hawk's eye with the spots of blue, and gold and orange gold colors. Blue tiger's eye has a very different vibration. It's very cooling. It's a very feminine vibration. It's kind of like the opposite energy of tiger's eye, gold tiger's eye, or red tiger's eye. But with hawk's eye, the energy of this stone is quite different from blue tiger's eye. Hawk's eye energy, I like to use this necklace with meditation because and not just meditation but also journeying, like shamanic journeying, because hawk's eye is like the energy of a hawk in the form of a stone. It's a really powerful stone. It has this very energizing vibration and a very uplifting vibration. It's the way I look at hawk's eye, it's a balance of earth and air energies. So when I wear these hawk's eye beads, I'm grounded, but I also feel like I'm lifted up like a hawk, and I'm able to sort of rise above, so to speak, the lowly ground vibrations, and get up into higher frequencies, which is perfect for journeying, for meditation. When you're able to balance earth and air energies, I think that can be very useful for manifestation work. It can be very useful for getting a higher perspective on things. Hawk's eye is very protective. This is a great stone if you are practicing any kind of journeying or astral travel. And even just meditation alone. This is a great stone for that. Hawk's eye just imparts this strong energy, an energy of like that enables you to keep going, like stamina. And that's why I really like using this stone. And that's what makes it so different from blue tiger's eye. Blue tiger's eye is not about, rising up into the clouds and soaring high. Blue tiger's eye is just a much more grounded, earthly, cooling, calming kind of energy. So if you can, just make sure you look out. If you want to find this stone, look out for a stone that kind of looks like gold tiger's eye but without the deep red coloring, and make sure it has a little bit of that dark blue. Now it didn't take me long to think of, well, before I get into the music part, what song goes well with this stone, I also just wanted to add, like, the energy of a hawk is very focused. So that's another use for hawk's eye, is for focusing on something. And specifically, like, focusing from a higher perspective. So when I wear this, I mean, the image that I get, it's kind of like you're grounded, but you're up in the air, which is a cool place to be. You can do a lot of things from that position. um, energetically speaking. Now, back to the song. It didn't take me long to think of a song for this. And, thinking about a hawk, thinking about soaring high, I was drawn right away to Christina Aguilera, Stripped. We all know that album. That was probably definitely one of her biggest albums after her debut. And that album is awesome. Okay, I would say Stripped falls somewhere within the gay canon of sacred music. Because that album's incredible. There are so many songs on that album that are just like, yes, lift me up. I feel beautiful. Don't look at me. um, Stripped is a sacred album of a woman finding herself. and within that album is a song, Soar. And Christina soars very high. um, there there are a lot of beautiful songs on that album, and it really is an uplifting, encouraging album. Ironically, I was never a fan of the one, like the big hit from that album, which was Dirty. I was never a fan of that song. I still don't really care for that song, but all the other songs on that album, or most of them, are just awesome. And Soar is perfect for Hawkeye because Christina just lifts you up with insane vocal heights, and you are soaring by the end of that song. So, as usual, I will include a link in the description box below to the song Soar by Christina Aguilera. And if you have some Hawkeye already, or if you don't, just take a listen to that song and try to get a feel for the kind of energy that I'm talking about. And, and as always, please leave a comment or a question below. I would love to hear from you. And once again, thank you so much for vibing with me.